Welcome back to Up in the Blue Seats, our New York Rangers podcast from the New York Post. Excuse me, it was a long night. I'm former Ranger Brian Boyle, alongside beat
Short
writer
night.
Mollie Walker and our Hall of Famer Larry Brooks. What a thriller on Tuesday. That that was epic. We'll get into that. The Rangers win a marathon in double OT, 4-3, 2-0 series lead on May 7th. Why did I say May 7th? That's a little bit significant for me. We'll get into that. All right, guys. Mollie's tired, so you can start, Mollie, or you forget what you were going to say.
No, I mean, the Rangers are 6-0 in the playoffs. Kind of just want to put that out there.
Is that good?
I think so. Uh, Second straight 2-0 lead in the series. I mean, this team is just throwing win after win right over their shoulder and just trucking on through this postseason right now. I mean, that was a thrilling double overtime victory. And honestly, I was saying to Larry, I mean, the fact that the Hurricanes came full throttle, that was a quintessential Hurricanes performance, I would say. The body of it, the shot volume, 57 shots on goal, Igor Shesterkin, 54 saves.
Buzzing.
That was it. That was the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Rangers were still tied 3-3 in the third period. And I said to Larry, if they're this close in a game where the Hurricanes are essentially almost at the top of their game, maybe aside from special teams, the Rangers are still winning this game. So that's what happened. And Vincent Trocheck, the hero in OT, double OT, excuse me, sending his former team down back to Raleigh in a 2-0 series hole. Really
Well,
can't
they
write it
just
any better.
yeah, they just stick with it. That's what impresses me most about them. Listen, I've talked about this a lot. They're talented. We know they're talented. They've been talented for a while. But it's the collective mindset of this group. They just stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. They don't panic. They believe in their structure. I think it was pierced a number of times. I think that they've got to perfect that 1-3-1. They
Yeah.
really when they go into that 1-3-1, sometimes it's just like it's Swiss cheese. And Carolina is just so fast through the
Yeah.
neutral zone and gains the zone, but the way the Rangers stuck with it and just stuck with it and worked and worked and took hits to make plays and grinded it out and they were disciplined with their shifts. I thought they were really disciplined with with their changes and they came back. They're supremely confident. They're a very confident team. But they that being said, they've really done only the necessary here in holding serve. And, they're up 2-0. They needed to be up 2-0. So we'll see. I like them. I think they'll get at least one of these next two. I do. I
Me
like
too.
them, but let's not forget that 2 years ago,
Roles
it
were
was a
reversed.
homer series for 6 games. Carolina was up 2-0 and 3-2, and then the Rangers won the last two. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I like the groundwork that has been done.
How could you
I'll
not?
start at the top with Troch. I mean, he led all skaters. Is that correct? All skaters in
Yeah.
ice time.
Mm-hmm.
The role that he plays is, I don't know if people understand how difficult that is. Just the physical commitment that takes. It's impressive. The fact that he's as effective as he is, the fact that someone posted that celebration of him
I was gonna
in
say.
next to Jon Snow, I think it was. It was, I don't know, just
Oh,
side
I
by
didn't see
side. It was
I didn't see that. But
unbelievable.
the
That
but
was
the but the video was sick.
Yeah.
oh my goodness. That so anyways, I said May 7th. Brad Richards, 6.6 seconds left. Same corner, same area of the ice. Just an epic goal on May 7th in what was that? That
That
was
ties
close.
that tied the game.
Tied the game, right?
It
And then
tied the
Mark
game.
Stahl scored in overtime.
Then
But
Stahl scored on the power play. There
Thriller.
was
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny
Ward.
Mitchell's on the ice.
Remember, didn't Ward picked up a double minor at the end of the game for high
Yeah.
stick,
Yeah.
and you scored on both ends. Richie
Mm-hmm.
scored on the first, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
There's
and
just some
that
magic
was
going in the
what? That
garden.
was game 5. Yeah, that was game 5,
Yeah. So that was 2012.
2012. Yeah,
Yeah.
This
2012.
is fun watching you guys figure this out.
yeah.
Putting both of your brain cells together.
Yeah. I only have 2 brain cells myself.
Yeah, you're
At this
preaching.
point. Uh,
Last night was a
dude.
late one.
Oh man. And then
Didn't
so then
get home until like almost like 1:20 last night after all that.
yeah, and I was sort of traveling, so then I stayed up to watch some, and then I kind of have to watch the other games too. So Miles Wood scored in
Brian's
overtime.
like, it's part of my job now.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. And it was just yeah, so it was an early morning, but what a game.
Well, I mean, the other thing, I mean, Trocheck was an irritating player to play against in the playoffs 2 years ago, and the Rangers knew him really well from that series.
Yeah,
And I had known that Trocheck had always been interested in coming to New York, and so it seemed like a perfect fit. When Strome was coming up, it did
Hmm.
seem like a perfect fit. It took a few months for him to assimilate. I think it's hard coming to New York. It's hard
it's hard
um,
going to any new team.
on a major big contract. He was
Yeah,
stepping in for Strome, who
I
was
was
so
gonna say
successful
the
with
filling the
Artemi.
shoes
Yeah,
of Ryan Strome, not
yeah,
only as a player, but as a presence in that locker room as
yeah,
well, was a pretty,
yeah.
lofty challenge for Trocheck to be walking into. And it has been pretty seamless for him. I mean, I know his first season, it took him, as it would take anybody, a little time to adjust. I know it wasn't an instant click with Artemi Panarin, but I mean, if this season is any indication of what's to come, Vincent Trocheck is right below Artemi Panarin in terms of big free agent signings that have gone well for the Rangers
Yeah.
in
Well,
recent
it's
years.
interesting too, their power play, which is on another level right now. One of the reasons is because Trocheck's at around 70% on the power play, on the
Yeah.
face off. So
I was gonna
they
say
have the puck.
face-offs.
They have the puck, and that had been always an issue for them, even while they were going at 23, 24, 25%. They were losing the face-off. They were losing, they had to go back and get it. They had to go back and get it. And, now they just set up. But Carolina had a pretty good one last night too, where they were in the zone. Was it in the overtime? They were in the zone, I think, for a minute 48
Yeah.
before we just finally cleared it. Carolina, if I'm Carolina, I'm saying we'll play the same game and we'll
Yeah.
be up. We,
Yeah.
we need to clear up,
They're
a few things,
furious.
but
Obviously,
but
I saw players outside
you
the
know,
visiting locker room
yeah,
chucking their bags
yeah,
coming out,
yeah,
chucking their bags on the cart. They're furious.
yeah.
And Rod Brindamore was pretty short
I think
and
they're also frustrated. You hear
yeah.
some of the things going on. Well, they're accusing them maybe of going down. The Rangers going
Oh,
down,
they were
two,
saying they were
three.
diving.
And it's
well,
it's always
well,
interesting because when I
Yeah.
hear things like that, and you know better, but when I hear things like that, I think that's kind of coming from a loser's mentality. You don't want to complain. Honestly,
right,
you don't want to complain about anything. Just just
right.
play.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's that
Yeah.
everybody
Igor
just everyone relax, but they're not wrong. And the
Igor's
Rangers have to be careful.
Igor's was that was
Well, no, it's 2 games in a row with and I did this on the NHL Network yesterday. It's 2 games in a row with Adam Fox.
yeah,
Look,
Adam does
I
that.
understand you get hit in the face, it hurts.
Yeah.
Your legs don't stop working when you get hit in the face. So just be careful. And he's gonna probably and look, it's worked because their power play has been great and it's it got him a goal. He wasn't even on the ice. He wasn't allowed on the ice because he went down in game
Right,
one.
right.
I'm just saying they all the refs talk, the league talks, they want to get it right and just be careful. Now, if you get stuck in the face, they should still call it and they're gonna, but like just be
Yeah.
careful. You don't want it evened up.
Don't need to
So
sell it.
and that's That's my boiling point.
It,
Rick Tocchet came out and said it yesterday before his series against Edmonton. He's just planting a seed, which I thought was genius. But look, there's gamesmanship. I don't care how people view me. If I draw a penalty, I get it. I could never dive. It just would look ridiculous. And I
all
was
6'6" of you.
yeah, and I'm not, that graceful, but so I just never had that advantage. But if I could cheat on a face-off, if I could grab you in different places, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So I don't care about, and they shouldn't care about either. I just be careful it doesn't
come off that
kind
way.
of go the other way and come back to hurt you. So look, the Carolina Hurricanes are a good hockey team. They're a shot volume team. If I think they need some sort of creativity, and Sebastian Aho is a problem for the Rangers. He was dynamite yesterday. I mean, you throw everything at this guy. His pass where he threw it out to Jake, I believe it was, in the slot.
Yeah. Oh,
like how
beautiful.
he protected the puck, how he went down and just kept. He didn't avoid contact. He took the contact, kept full on possession. Like that's a physical player to me. Whether or not he's going to run you over and hurt you.
Right.
I mean, you hurt Adam Fox this year. I know that, but he's a strong player. But that's a physical, skilled centerman. That play. What do you do there? How do you? He got defended hard. They defended him hard.
Right.
So you need to understand that they're going to push back. When you get angry like that, I mean, there's going to be something. So the first period, game 3, there's going to be a lot to be said about the first period of game 3. Even if it comes out 0-0.
Yeah.
You're the New York Rangers. You're like, all right.
Which would be ideal for the Rangers, I think.
Well, I mean, look, they probably have loftier goals than that. They want to just step on their necks, but it's been so fun to watch. Game 1 was so awesome.
Yeah.
The power play was so awesome. And let's get into that for a second. We talk about face-offs, right? And we'll go back to like cheating a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember. The face-off was won. Not terribly cleanly. And Troch falls down.
Yep.
What does he do?
Pin the guy in front of him.
It's a little grab on Jordan Stahl's stick, which buys Adam Fox a little time. Adam Fox waits for Jordan Stahl to get just far enough out. He can pass to Panarin, who's a little higher up on the half wall than he normally is. Orlov, I believe it was in the first one, is a little late getting to him because he has to go through this big pile of 5 guys. And every single they want to gap up 3 guys high, which doesn't make sense when they're ready for it and they have 7 days to prepare. And it's in the net in 8 seconds. I was with Valaket. We were up in Sam and Joe's booth. And Valley grabbed me when it happened. I was like, geez, man.
Yeah.
It was automatic.
Now. We're unbiased. We're media now.
We're media now.
Oh, it was epic. And that was going to be the big thing. It was the special teams. Who's winning the special teams is winning the series.
I think it was 9 seconds into the first power play and then 14 seconds into the second power play.
And you're right. And you're playing against the team that had the best penalty kill in the league.
Right. Let's not lose sight of that.
You have
all
to figure,
year.
Honestly, that the Carolina penalty killers were embarrassed after that game.
Yeah.
And
they did.
You don't
that's
think
how they're coached. They were just a step slow.
But
the only issue I had with any of it,
if you're the first power play unit, if you're the first penalty kill unit in the NHL, and you're playing in game 1 of the second round, and you're 2 for 2,
Brian's like, all right, fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
you hate getting scored on always. Like any goal, you're like, what just happened? How did that happen? The only issue with the first one was Jarvis going to Kreider, who was he was less dangerous than the Mika behind him, and he kind of goes at him with his stick in the air.
Right.
I should coach this. I mean, it's just look. I was happy about it, but
but honestly, details. but now even last night, and I don't blame. I mean, listen, it was a game last night. The Rangers could have lost just as easily, but they give up a power play goal to tie the game in the third period, and they give up a power play goal to win the game. So I'm sure the penalty killers,
the biggest goals of the game,
they must be furious. Honestly, I mean, they're prideful. They're part of the best penalty killers in the NHL, and they've been scored on 4 times in 2 games.
They have to adjust.
Yeah.
And the reason is you can't prepare this much during the season for every different team you play against. They had a week. They're only going to play Carolina. So they prepared. They see 3 guys that go high because they love the pressure points. And where are those 4 goals coming from? They're all right around the net. because there are three guys are out high and there's one guy in front. One time's Jarvis.
Right.
I love Seth Jarvis as a player.
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic
I mean,
player.
he's had a great season. He's had a great playoffs for them.
If I can pick 10 guys to be my coverage in front of the net, he's not one of them from that Carolina team. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And that's how their rotation goes. So, and to give the Rangers and their coaching staff a ton of credit. The Rangers were executing, the coaching staff saying this is where we're going to get our goals. And that's why they're up 2-0. They need to be ready for an adjustment, but I was so impressed. That's a group, like, everybody gets a hot power play. Power plays can go cold. That was a group that was ready for what they were going to bring at them, and they found different ways to move it around. Who's open? Where's the time and space? Go there. And back to Trocheck. The draws are important. The holdup was important. And he's that guy in the middle that has to support everywhere and then make a play. He's in the eye of the hurricane, and he's making plays. It's phenomenal.
You're really a media member now. No, but also I'm thinking about.
I didn't even mean that for, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, it's okay. It just happens naturally once you start moseying on into the space. Welcome. Congratulations, Brian. Nice. I'm thinking about the first power play goal, though. The two backhanded passes. It really, I mean, that was unstoppable. It just really is. And then when they're operating like that, they look unstoppable. And we've been saying it, and Trocheck said it last night to confirm it. They get out there and they expect to score.
Yeah,
and
that's a
sort of confidence that is just you can't do anything about it. Yeah, you just can't do anything about it. Whether you have the best penalty kill in the league, whatever it may be, you just can't stop it. You just
can't. Again, not all 2-for-7s are created equal, right? I mean, 2-for-7s, 2-for-7, but they tied the game in the third period. And they won the game in overtime, and that's to me the mark of an elite specialty unit that goes out and wins the game. That's it. I mean, that's it. You score in the first period, great, and then you have 3 opportunities in the third and you can't score. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, that's the game's on the line. Look, there's something in there that I hope everyone's excited to see, regardless how the rest goes, because this is a very good team. Larry, you said it's the third best team in the league, points wise. This is it's exciting. I mean, exciting for me just to see it all happening, and the amount of people talking about it. People who don't really necessarily think they're for real is interesting. Maybe you don't get to watch the Rangers because they're they're only on national television like 20 times a year. So
I'll take the boiling point off of your hands today from that
we got a couple
that lead in. I can't even listen. Let me preface this by saying that as a beat writer, the worst thing that you could be is a homer. That's something that's beat into us in journalism school. I went to and sat in 2-hour ethics lectures at UMass. The whole thing about, just I'm conscious, always aware of, not being too much of a homer. I vote on the awards, and I never want my ballot to look like I'm the Rangers beat writer. Like, it's something that you're just always conscientious of. That being said, at the same time, with the season that the Rangers have had, you also have to be able to recognize you have to give credit where credit is due. And when it's warranted, give the players that you're covering the necessary acknowledgement. So that being said, the amount of disrespect that I feel like the Rangers have gotten this season in general, and it has carried on into the playoffs, absolutely has amazed me. The fact that I'm going on these radio shows and things like that, and people are asking about the underdog Rangers is absolutely blasphemous to me. The New York Rangers had the best record in the National Hockey League this season. They won the President's Trophy. They answered every single challenge that was put in front of them this season. They beat the Hurricanes 2 out of 3 times, beat the Hurricanes 2 years ago, whatever it may be. I think that it is a disservice to the actual underdog stories of the sports world to be saying that the New York Rangers are the underdogs in this situation. What about these first two games gives off the impression that the Rangers are the underdogs here? There are no underdogs in this series. These are two Metropolitan Division powerhouses going at it. It's great hockey. I just think that the Rangers, no Jack Adams finalist for Peter Laviolette, no Hart Trophy finalist for Artemi Panarin. I think it's disrespectful, quite frankly. And I think the Rangers deserve so much more credit and attention that they've gotten this season. And that is coming from someone who is so conscientious of not being a homer. So that's my boiling point. You're welcome for taking you off of it this week,
Thank you.
Brian.
Do you know who loves it?
Who?
Probably Laviolette. Probably the
Mhm.
Rangers.
Probably.
You know, like
Probably.
let's just ride this underdog story fairy tale all the way to the end.
No.
They're
I'm
never going to
not
give us
buying it.
credit.
I'm not buying
They
it.
don't care, but they don't care. Like they
Yeah.
look, I didn't understand the Vegas odds. I mean, they had Carolina as the chalk to win the cup until maybe last week. You know, it's whatever. They just the whole gambling thing and what it's just
Save your
if
money.
you think it's lazy,
Save your money,
it's a
people.
different story for people talking about them. But different stories happen, different matchups happen. One team looks like unbeatable in the first round, and then they kind of go out on a whimper. These things happen. They're writing their own story right now. You know, hopefully it's a long story and we can talk about it for years and years. But yeah, I agree. It's kind of perplexing. It's a bit bizarre that
It
they're just
is. I just
not
think
giving
it's
it any.
unfair. I think that the Rangers, I mean, and just the sum of their parts as well,
Yeah,
deserve so much more acknowledgement and so much more credit than they've gotten, and I find it to be quite annoying. So that's all I'll say.
boom.
Boom, mic drop.
Love that. I love that. Let's get after it. Where are the so this is kind of where my mind goes is you've won two games. This is a great spot. You've done what you've had to do. And Larry, you touched on this too. They had to, you want to hold serve at home. That's why you have the home ice advantage. When you're the coaching staff, where do you look at and say, okay, these are maybe some places that we're vulnerable and it hasn't cost us yet? Because again, I without nitpicking, I've just they've won it
Well, they
sort of two
really
different
had,
ways. There's 6-on-5 I didn't love
yeah,
in game one. Can't get outnumbered in the net. They probably addressed it. The other thing is like I don't think you can go Superman through the air with your elbow up, crash into the
Oh
boards, and
yeah,
live to
that was
tell about it
bad.
very often. Let's just, I'm all for. Yeah, Jacob Trouba is obviously a great leader on this team, and
It was
he's
like
done so many great things. Let's
he was lucky he was falling. He
yeah,
was
tough.
lucky that he was
yeah,
lucky that he wasn't going to make contact because
Yeah,
that would have been suspension worthy,
yeah,
100%.
yeah, tough. Yeah, tough
straight to
night.
jail.
And he had
He
a
had a
tough
tough night.
night.
He had
Their
moments
pair
where
had
he was
been
great though. He made
He
some
their
did have,
plays.
pair.
yeah, it
Their
was,
pair had been terrific the first 5 games.
yeah,
Honestly, their pair.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they've been on for a goal in the
yeah.
first 5 games, but
Hmm.
he just had a very, very difficult night
Yeah.
last night.
It was the
The three
giveaway into
penalties, giveaway. I mean,
the
honestly,
giveaway in the neutral zone
he just had
tough.
a tough game. But
Yeah.
and
But he's still, I mean, gotta give him
what,
credit. 9 blocks, Jake said. I thought it
Yeah.
was
yeah,
8. Nine
yeah,
blocks.
nine
He's still
nine
gonna
blocks. Yeah.
No, it was
he's getting in the
definitely,
trenches.
I
and
do think I think they need to get a little bit more forecheck containment. Honestly, Carolina's just flying out.
Mhm.
Here's the thing with the 1-3-1.
And
They just
but
get
I
rid of
think the
it though.
1-3-1 has not. I don't think it's benefited
It
them
doesn't set up well for that team. They
very
just
much.
punt it and go.
Yeah,
That's how they do it. They don't care about passing. Teams that
Most
want to
do.
enter with possession,
Yeah.
yeah,
1-3-1 is shut them right down. And then they're like, what do
right.
we do? We can't get the puck. They
Yeah,
don't care about They don't
yeah.
care
No,
about
they
how they
just
get it in. They just get it in.
they always have, and they always have somebody going back door. It's. I was actually shocked last night that they didn't score 5 or 6. Honestly, they had so many chances.
Igor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Igor.
The Igor was terrific, and
Yeah.
just the plays that you just miss by split second, or you just miss. But they're always dangerous. They're always threatening.
Igor was
And
pretty
and the
spectacular
Rangers
though.
didn't I don't think have didn't have enough of those 5-on-5 threatening shifts. I mean, they stayed in there. They
Mm,
stayed in there. But I don't I think they were reacting more than proacting. I think Carolina carried most of the game.
definitely.
But again, they're playing a really good team. It's okay, and you know, that's what's going to happen. And um,
They can't all be Picassos.
no,
But
No.
then you can, especially if you win games like that. Not
Yeah.
saying they shouldn't win because it's very small margin. So, but you could take something back from that and say, all right, look, that was great, great win, good job, everybody, high five. Now, this is where we're
Yeah.
getting beat up. We got to fix
Mm,
this.
well, I think that's what they do. I think
100%.
that's one of the things they do
they
very,
do.
very well. I think they self-evaluate. I think they're coached. They're coached to the smallest detail.
Hmm.
There's nothing that gets by.
I think Peter Laviolette has said the same thing after every game this season. We'll look back, we'll look at it, we'll take a look, we'll evaluate. Like he always mentions something about how they are going to look at it and what they're going to take away from it and things like that. To your point, Larry, he's constantly making those adjustments. No Jack Adams, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if how many coaches get fired within a year,
Well, no, no,
18
exactly.
months of,
You're like, maybe Peter doesn't want it.
No, exactly.
what name doesn't come off? The
Gerard
one that,
Gallant. Gerard Gallant
yeah,
was a finalist 2 years ago, wasn't he?
It was.
Yeah.
that's, the name that you can't just fire and scribble off is the one that gets etched in the Stanley Cup. So that's what
That's
these guys
true.
care about.
That's true.
Um, yeah, here's the last about this team. There's good teams in the playoffs, and you always kind of wonder. And it's sort of like the power play too, though. Like not all power plays are created. 2 for 7's not every 2 for 7's not the same. Larry, you said it. Like they at key moments they make plays,
Yeah.
and it's not all. It's a lot of the same guys, but it's not always the same guys.
Yeah.
Which is, man, you got to feel good about that if
Yeah.
you're a fan of the team. You got a lot of guys you can root for. There's a lot of likable guys. I mean, there's some guys in that room right now. I know this that are like, all right, I got to step in and put my name on this series now too. And they got so many guys that are in
I think
different
that was
spots.
Alexi Lafreniere
Yeah.
last night.
He did, so he did, right? There's other
Yes.
guys too. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
Goudreau and VC want to be like, all right, we're gonna the
Mm-hmm.
scales in our favor a little bit too. When we get some depth scoring, holy, like watch out. How
Yeah.
you gonna stop us now?
It's a
Yeah.
big game by Alexi.
Yeah.
That was, yeah,
It was big. It was big. My editors had told me this, but apparently he snapped a 28 game goalless streak in the playoffs.
Yeah. He hadn't scored since I think the fifth game against Pittsburgh, I think, in
Yeah.
the first round.
Yep. So that's, I
really.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the secondary scoring that the Ranger, I mean, because we've talked about this already, the way that the star players have shown up in force so far since the playoffs have started, that if they can get a couple of goals here and there from Alexi Lafreniere, Capo Caco, I really would like to see that third line start producing. Because they do a lot of good things on the ice.
I
It's
really liked
just,
that.
yeah, they do so many
I thought
great
Wennberg
things.
had his best game.
Wennberg
I
was
thought
good.
Wennberg was I thought
Yeah.
Wennberg his 200-foot game was good. I thought he had his best game
Involved.
in the offensive zone.
Yeah, engaged was I was gonna say.
Yeah.
He's in
He
the
was
Involved,
mix.
engaged.
engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was engaged, and I thought that Cooley had a really impressive
Yeah.
night too.
He's such a good player for that
He
team.
really is. I don't think he gets enough credit either.
Oh, he adds
As a
such an
rookie,
element.
too, like
Yeah,
just taking it all into consideration, what he's been for this team this
he's a
season and how
dude.
he's grown. He's a dude.
Dude, that
He's
guy.
a
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. Lafreniere could have had he had a couple opportunities to
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
finish off the
he had the
trick
great.
too, eh?
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
sorry. How
I
about
know.
Mika? Mika had two. Anderson made two incredible saves.
Huge saves.
The
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
second one was even better because he had to move across. But I mean, Freddie Anderson played. He played a great.
Yeah.
I mean, Igor played a great game. Anderson played a great game.
It was a
Yeah.
great
You
game
know,
in general. It really was. It was a fun, exciting, I mean, anything, double
it was
overtime.
grinding, but
Yeah.
it was also grinding. It was
Hmm.
just grinding, and you can sense it. You know, guys are
Hmm.
exhausted there.
Oh yeah. I felt like the Rangers in general, whole game looked a little gassed. And I saw a lot of people online, oh, maybe they shouldn't have practiced as hard as they did yesterday. Oh, give me a break. Like
You know what? Carolina looked tired game one.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Carolina looked
Yeah.
tired.
I never seen
Yeah.
them like that. Like
Yeah.
they're out of gas. This is
Hmm.
great.
I felt that way about the Rangers last night. They looked a step behind. They looked a little gassed, especially as the game wore on,
You
obviously.
got to defend. If you have to defend that much, it'll get to you in the
Art
same game.
Artemi Artemi Panarin made me crack up last night as we
That
were
was wild.
no, as we were leaving the game last night. I asked Artemi about something and he was like, Mollie, I played 40 minutes tonight. I was like, you don't even know your own name? He was like, yes. He was he was like, I don't even know what's going on. What
Who
he was
who asked him? Is like, what were you thinking in the penalty box? He goes,
I
nothing.
wasn't
I
in
was
his
too tired.
scrum.
I was too
Yeah.
tired to think. I didn't care. I was
Yeah,
like, wait, what?
he literally was like, Mollie, I played 40 minutes tonight. I don't know. I was like, okay, sorry, I won't ask you anything.
Brings back memories. Those long ones.
They'll get
May
you.
3rd, 2022. Igor 79 saves in triple OT. Lost that one though. Won the
Yes.
series. Lost
Yeah,
that one.
last night was his first overtime
No,
victory.
it wasn't. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
actually. No, he won game 7 of the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh series,
Yeah.
remember?
game seven. Was it?
Panarin
Yeah.
off the
Nice.
Panarin.
tank. I was in a hotel
That's right.
awaiting my knee scope the next morning, watching
Wait.
it
This is
because
just like a
my knee wouldn't bend or straighten.
oh God, Brian. But this is just like an inside look into what it's like as us writers. Literally, you had said that, Larry, last night. I told Ethan to write it, and then Ethan texted me at like 3 a.m. Wait, period.
Uh,
Didn't Igor win game 7? He was like, wait, I remember this,
right.
and
Right.
but it's all right.
Let's
It's in the
forget
New
it.
York.
We'll just forget it. It didn't
It's in
happen.
the New York Post. Yeah, Brian's like, it didn't happen. Brian's like, that's great. Yeah, sorry. So that's a mistake in the New York Post today. But I also have like the same graph written twice in both my stories in the paper today. This is what happens when you cover a double overtime game on a deadline that we have over here in the newspaper business.
7 days of
Yeah,
stories
it's
with no games.
oh my God. And the way we cover the team, Brian, oh my God, we got 5, 6 stories in the paper every freaking day. It's insane. Nobody covers the
Capo
team like the New
Caco
York Post.
changed his stick tape. What does that mean?
Yeah. Wennberg actually, and I was able to find out
Actually, yeah,
why.
that did happen.
In
Oh
case
yeah.
I was gonna say, it's funny that you mention it.
Oh, I'd
No,
like to
what?
hear it.
Yeah, Wennberg was like, he was actually kind of funny about it. He's been really great, to talk to. He's been very forthcoming, but it was funny when I went up to him and Larry actually came afterward because we were all curious. And he was just kind of like, yeah, I just trying to change it up. Nothing specific. I was like, well, like, does it have something to do with your play? And he was like, yeah, a little bit, but it's always good to keep it fresh. He kept it very, vague, not make a big deal about it. But when you have that cool all white stick, it's kind of noticeable when it's no longer there anymore. So
I can dive into this a little.
yeah, go ahead.
So I have had the same stick for like 12 years. The
Hmm.
graphics changed. People will get blown away when they hear this, but so it'll say whatever Bauer's newest model is on my
Mm-hmm.
stick. It's a Bauer. It used to be a Vapor 30 and then I changed it to a 195. So this is like 12-year-old technology.
Hmm.
In sometimes they come in a little bit different, but they're pretty much the exact same thing. It's muscle memory, it's all that. Legit, like 2 strips of tape. If I start the tape job like 2 strips later,
Yeah.
it changes everything on my stick. It feels different.
Really?
So you take it out and practice a little bit. You start thinking it's just like a different way to focus and it's a different sort of concentration when it's not
Huh.
going right. And it got a little bit bad with me, like mentally in Tampa, where I had this stick that I loved. I switched it the year we went to the Cup Finals in New York, but I still had both patterns and I couldn't commit to one. So I
Huh.
literally had 2 different sets of sticks. And one was the old Vapor 30 and one was the 195. They were different curves, similar, one had like a sandpaper on the blade, one was gloss fin. It was like
Huh. And you can
I would.
feel the difference just by
Oh
holding
yeah,
it.
oh
That's
yeah.
insane. From the, yeah.
I tried to go back to the Vapor 30 and like a practice with my kids. I'm like, this, how the hell did I use this? But that's what I felt like when I would use
Yeah.
it in games. It helped
Huh.
me on face-off, so I kept using it. I would practice with one stick all week, and then in the game, I would use the other one.
Huh.
And I would get a one-timer in Tampa, I swear to God, in the slot. I'll never forget against Phoenix. And
Phoenix.
I'm trying to go high glove on Mike Smith, and I hit like just a absolute rocket low blocker. Like I missed my spot by 5 feet. It goes posting in, and I was like, and everyone's like, "What a shot!" And I'm like, "That's not at all what I want to do." And then later in the same game, I caught a pass on my backhand that would have probably bobbled on the other stick. And I just tried to snap a backhander, and this stick didn't have as big of a curve, and I went bar down on a backhand on Mike Smith. 2-goal game, and I'm like, this stick's unbelievable. I go to practice next day, I can't even shoot. Like it. So you change things a little
Insane.
bit, and it's like
Huh.
it alters your concentration, or you get lucky like I did. But guys will go to
Or
white
you
tape
get
for
lucky.
practice, and then they go back to black for games, and they're like, I got it now. So like those things, you'd be. We could go a long time on this. We know. I don't know if people want to hear it, but
No, I
people
think it's
do that
very
all the
interesting.
time. Like Sid one year wore brand new skates for practice every day, and he'd go back to his skates from the bubble. He
Huh.
uses skates from the bubble in games because he was just like, I can't. I'm like, you are flying in these skates. You're 100% faster in these brand new skates. He's like, no, I can't wear them. Can't wear
Huh.
them. I'm like, yeah,
That's
that's
so
the mental.
interesting.
That's how we're psychos.
Yeah, no, my thing is that you can actually feel the difference just
Oh
holding
yeah,
the top of a stick, like just from the puck being at the bottom of the
you
stick,
just tap it on the ice. I
you
can
can
feel a
feel the
difference.
difference. That's insane. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Hmm. You
interesting.
learn something new every day.
So guaranteed Wennberg goal next game.
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like he's looking to finish, and
Yeah,
that's why he also needs to shoot a little bit more. But
that's a one way to score.
yeah. Hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all. I think that's all I got. You
Hmm.
guys
All right.
good?
Hmm.
Awesome.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, Larry, as always, for your time gracing
Thank you,
us
Brian.
with your Hall of Fame presence.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It
Thank you.
really is. We'll be back either Monday, if the Rangers, we're going to say take care of business, or on Tuesday following a potential game 5 Monday at MSG. Um, Mollie already gave us a boiling point. And
Hmm.
next, I'll take you inside the Boyle-r Room on Up in the Blue Seats. Quick little Boyle-r Room. And it's not, I mean, I'm not that upset about it because I get what they're doing. But I was working at the NHL Network yesterday, and we had Macklin Celebrini come in, which was awesome. Great kid. Projected first overall pick. San Jose, they did the reveal there. San Jose won the draft lottery. Kid's 17 years old, and he's super impressive. He's checked every box so far. Um, Sort of exceeded expectations. I remember where I was at 17. I don't know. I worry that we're putting a little too much on too fast. And I get that it's going to be a total whirlwind for the kid, the next 6 months or so. It already has been the last 10 months. But you bring him on and you put him out there like what? I don't know. What if something changes leading up to it? Nothing's been done yet. So I mean, I get why they're doing it. They're promoting this prospect, much like they did with Connor Bedard, put him in the spotlight last year for Chicago. And again, he checked every box. Probably going to win the Calder, but I don't know. Maybe that's just I know how hard it is to play and perform, and at such a young age, I'm not trying to take any credit away from the kid. I'm actually trying to give it to him even more how impressive he was in the interview and just talking with him before and a little bit after. The kid's all time, man. He gets it. I worry about bringing these kids in that young. All the other drafts are a little different. These kids get to grow up a little bit more in other drafts, and he's just right there in the spotlight right away and hasn't been drafted yet. So I just worry, and I just want the league to be cognizant and cautious of maybe setting the kid up to hopefully not have the most ideal path forward. I think we should be trying to protect him so he has the absolute best chance to be as great of a player and have as great of a career as he can. They do it all the time. I get why. I'm curious if there's a better way.
All right, Brian, good show. Mollie, good show. Larry, great show per usual over here. As X says, good night to episode 156 of Up in the Blue Seats, our Rangers podcast from the New York Post. Mollie, kick us off. Who's your first star of the week?
After that 54 save performance, I got to go with Igor Shesterkin, backbone of the Rangers, backbone of that game 2 victory at the Garden last night. And we've said it a million times, but Igor Shesterkin will take this team as far as he wants to.
Brian?
For sure. Yeah, I got Troch. I got Vincent Trocheck. Just the amount of responsibility on him to perform, the ice time, the responsibilities he has up and down all 3 zones, power play, penalty kill, and to be as effective as he's been on the score sheet, what he's done, just the minutes played, it's an absolute grind. What a legend, and the legend is growing. Trochy, 2-star.
And those moments in sports are captured, and they were captured beautifully by the NHL, by the Rangers last night. The close-ups of him against the glass, like hanging in the Louvre. Is it Louvre or Louvre? I never know.
The Louvre.
How to Louvre. Yeah, I
The
think
Louvre.
R-E is silent.
Yes.
Hanging in the Louvre, because that is just a picture perfect photo, and just his face with like his nice, whatever, done teeth, whatever surgery he's had to his teeth. I'm sure he's had a few. It is just a thing of beauty, and I love that. He was smashing the glass, the fans smashing against him. It is just a thing of beauty. Someone who won't get a star this week is the ESPN broadcast. I was at here, American Whiskey, great shirt, by the way, watching the game, and I'm yelling at the owner, Kevin. I thought he changed the channel. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? They cut to the other feed, and everyone in the bar is looking around like, put it back, put it back. There were 47 seconds or something.
Yeah.
How does that happen on any broadcast?
It's not ideal.
No, not ideal at all.
Problematic.
People were up in arms. It was kind of funny to see it unfold. Because especially for us who are obviously at the game watching it, and suddenly there's just a flood of messages. ESPN just cut to the Dallas Stars pregame. Oh my God. Like, what's going on?
You got Rangers, Carolina fans, other fans of neither team, different, probably political views, different views. Everyone fights on the internet about everything. Everyone agreed that was egregious.
I feel bad for the broadcasters in the booth there. Like they get flashed the camera to them. They're thinking they're on ESPNU or whatever the backup channel, ESPN Classic, ESPN 8 The Ocho, whatever channel they were being put on at that time. And there they are in the spotlight when nobody wanted to see them. So kind of felt a little bad for them. And the calls have been less than great on some of these goals as well, unfortunately, for Rangers fans. But, you know, you still got Dave Maloney on the radio you could listen to rip someone's head off. And we love Dave Maloney. 3rd star, 3rd week in a row. I'm sorry. This is why you get home ice. This is why you win the President's Trophy.
Give it to
home
the fans again.
They're undefeated. They don't lose in the Garden. I mean, this is just remarkable.
I love the fans too, but come on.
All right, so if I'm going to give it to someone, I'm giving it to Peter Laviolette because the coaching adjustments he continues to make have been remarkable, and you're seeing the difference between Gallant and Laviolette.
He deserves more credit.
Yeah, let's give him the 3rd star every week. He's a great head coach, so we'll give it to Lavi this week. Thanks for listening, everyone. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts, and watch us on the New York Post Sports YouTube page. If you're watching now, make sure you give that thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. R.I.P. Ebert and Roper. Give it the 2 thumbs up, and comment below. How does the rest of the series played out? I originally said Rangers in 7, but, you know, I'm starting to think it might end a little bit sooner, but the tides will change when it goes to Carolina. Follow Mollie on Twitter. That's Mollie Walker, 2 E's, 2 R's, and Brian Boyle at Brian Browse 22. Thanks to Thomas Hogan for helping me in producing the show. For Larry Brooks, Brian Boyle, Mollie Walker, I'm Jake Brown. The guys and the lady will be back next week. Can't forget that. On Monday, if the Rangers sweep, and Tuesday, if not, if it goes to a game 5, we'll be back on Tuesday. Thanks for listening to Up in the Blue Seats. Enjoy game 3 and 4 down in Raleigh.